Warning, this video contains disturbing images. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Eating disorders, one of the most important topics nowadays. Come with us to this extraordinary documentary in which you'll know more about these disorders and some of the most relevant cases in the last years. An eating disorder is a serious disturbance in a person's eating behavior and weight regulation. This does not only refer to obese people, as you might think. There's a bunch of different disorders. Nevertheless, what they all have in common is an addiction with the amount of food they eat or the way they control their weight.
Before we go any further, let's talk about what we think about these disorders. We firmly think that eating disorders can be influenced by bullying, low self esteem, stereotypes, social pressure, anxiety, and emotional troubles. We also think that not all of the eating disorders are physically visible. There are other disorders that we call invisible disorders because they don't have a physical repercussion at first. They progress and show up when it's already too late. We think that the fight against these disorders, the first thing to do is to show support and find a way to make them see what their problem is because there is different with every person.
For supporting our initial thesis, we will show you some arguments throughout the documentary that will help you to take your own conclusion.
Some causes of eating disorders are bullying and lack of self-esteem. Also, society puts high expectations in young people, making them think they need to look a certain way, which can lead to an eating disorder. So, there are many causes for these diseases.
Now we will present an anorexia nervosa case.
First things first. What is anorexia? Well, anorexia is a disease that is characterized with abnormally low body weight, the physiological condition of fear of gaining weight by over-controlling the calories that you consume. More than a physical condition, it's a mental disease where you can appreciate yourself and low self-confidence.
We can take as an example the male model Jeremy Gilitzer, who once was healthy and fit. When he was a 12-year-old boy, he started starving and inducing himself to vomit. But why? He was just about to hit puberty and he was questioning his sexuality. When he turned 21, he started to recover. It took time, of course, but he got healthy again, and then he worked as a model in several agencies. But after a while he relapsed and he got to weigh 99 pounds. When he turned 37 years old, he tried to get better again, but unfortunately, he died when he turned 38.
According with the American Journal of Psychiatry, almost 50% of the people with eating disorders meet the criteria of depression. Besides, Diane Newmark Steiner claims that over one half of teenage girls and nearly one-third of teenage boys use unhealthy weight control behaviors like skipping meals, fasting, vomit, and taking laxatives. Therefore, eating disorders have a lot to do with a person's mental situation. They are related with depression, anxiety, and other problems, which are usually stronger during the adolescence.
Now let's talk about bulimia.
Bulimia is the eating disorder where the person eats a lot in a short amount of time to then provoke vomit to themselves. Many people think that this is better than anorexia, but actually it is very harmful. It can seriously damage the throat and mouth. A very famous case is Demi Lovato. The actress and singer was bullied during her childhood because she was chubby. She became bulimic and lasted a few years. Fortunately, she went to rehab and is now healthy and fit.
Now brace yourselves for the third argument, because after reviewing two cases, we're now able to generate an argument by example.
In the case of Jeremy Gilitzer, he was just a 12-year-old boy when he started starving and puking, and all of this was caused because in the very start of his puberty, he was asking himself about his sexuality. This is obviously a lot to process for a child. In Demi Lovato's case, she was chubby during her childhood, and she was bullied because of this. So, in conclusion, eating disorders are a mental illness that is translated into a physical illness. This means that eating disorders are always caused by your mental situation.
In every case of anorexia, there is a story of depression behind. Also, many teenagers are constantly depressed. Therefore, teenagers are most likely to have eating disorders. That's why we should have special attention with them.
For watching us, we'll see you later in another episode of Eating Disorders, a threat for society or society a threat?